Morning. Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. So can you see this board?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any doubt from the last lecture? So we were discussing about polar coordinates, right? And let me also have a comparison with the Cartesian coordinates. So here we have x and y as variable. It consists of r and theta as variable. Unit vectors are I, j here, and it consists of r, theta here. Something represented by small displacement becomes this, and this the same thing becomes in this system, right? We can go from here to here. I mean, there exists a transformation. Like if you know r and theta, x is equal to r cos theta, y is equal to r sin theta. Or if you want to go reverse, that is also possible. Sorry. Right. Apart from this, do we have some connection between these two also? I mean, can we connect r cap theta cap to I cap j cap? Do we have any connection between these two? And any connection between these two?
Yes, sir.
So which one are you talking about? A, B or C?
Sir, r cap can be written as cos theta I cap plus sin theta j cap, and theta
Alright.
cap can be written as minus sin theta I cap plus cos theta j cap.
Okay, so at least this relation is known. Let's discuss this part. So now we are trying to find transformation between these two. So let us draw both the coordinate system at the same place. Means for xy, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, and for polar coordinates, this has to be the baseline, and this origin is common to both, right? So this is x-axis, this is y-axis. If we have a point P here, then what is the vector r here? Unit vector r is this, in this direction, right? Let me remove the remaining part. Sorry. This is length 1, this is r cap. What is I cap here? I cap has to be this, of length 1. What is j cap? J cap has to be this, length 1. This angle has to be theta. So you can see from this diagram that r cap can be decomposed in two parts. Along the x-axis, how much is the length? Cos theta I cap. Along the y-axis, how much is the length of this vector? Sin theta j cap. What about theta component? So theta means this, right? This is theta cap. What is the angle made from the x-axis? 90 plus theta, right? So what is the x-axis component? Cos of 90 or pi by 2 plus theta I cap plus sine of pi by 2 plus theta j cap, right? This becomes minus sine theta I cap plus cos theta j cap. You can also see the x component is on the negative direction, whereas the y component is on the positive direction. So we have got this relation also. Now let us redo the same thing which we have done yesterday. What about this? So this is the formula in front of you. What is del r cap by del theta?
Theta cap.
It is minus sine theta I cap. Sine theta derivative is cos theta j cap. And you can see this is actually equal to theta cap. What about del r cap over del r?
Minus r cap.
Be careful. Del r cap by del r. Is r there on the right hand side? Del theta cap upon del theta. So this is theta cap. So derivative of this thing with respect to theta. This becomes minus cos theta I cap. And this becomes minus sine theta j cap. And obviously this thing is equal to minus r cap. So we derived the same thing yesterday using the geometrical method. We derive same thing again without doing any geometrical exercise. It's all coming from just mathematical terms. Okay? So this relation is also known, I mean, given by this formula. What about this A part? Do we have any connection between scalars x and y and the vectors I and j? Or how do you decide the direction of I cap? So first of all, are they independent thing or are they connected? I mean, is x and I cap are connected to each other or they are just independent to each other? See, they are connected. Let me tell you how are they connected. So when we define a coordinate system, what actually we are doing? We say this is the x-axis, right? We say this is the y-axis. Now what is the definition of I cap? Let us say we are here. The definition of I cap is move in such a way that x may change but y coordinate should not change. It means you have to go along this direction. Go by 1 unit and whatever is the vector that is given by I cap. If you go along y without changing x and you move only one unit, then you get j vector. Same definition in polar system. If there is no y-axis, there is one baseline and one origin, right? If we are here, what is the definition of r cap? Move in such a way that r can change but theta cannot change. So only possible way is this, and that is why the name of this vector is r cap. And similarly, this vector becomes theta cap. So you can see definition of r cap and theta cap coming from r and theta itself. Definition of I cap and j cap is coming from x and y. As of now, we are just discussing in using words only. अभी जो हमने definition बताई है, simply words में बता दिया है. इसको mathematically कैसे represent करेंगे? That is another task which we will discuss after a short while. So इसको अभी हम यहाँ पे hold पे डालते हैं. And similarly here. Okay. So here we have discussed almost everything. We know how to deal with vectors. We already know how to deal with scalars numbers. Dealing with scalars is quite easy because you know the connections. Now you also know how to deal in vectors in polar coordinate because we have got all the connections that we need, right? Now let us come to the main topic of the syllabus. Gradient. So gradient, sorry guys, is actually operator. What is the symbol? So this symbol is called del operator, or you can also call it gradient operator, okay, or gradient only. So how do we how do we define gradient? If it is an operator, obviously it has to operate on something. So when we say gradient of, let us say, function f, which is a function of all the three variables, then it is written like this. And what is the meaning of this whole thing now? So vector del is this in Cartesian system. I cap del over del x, j cap del over del y, k cap del over del z. If you want, you can put this I on the right hand side also, because it is a constant. So even if you put it on the right hand side, it does not make any difference. Constant can move anywhere within the term. So what is this quantity? This is I cap del over del x plus j cap del over del y plus k cap del over del z, operated on what? Some scalar function f x y z. It can be any function, whatever you want. It should be continuous so that you can define all these derivatives. And this becomes equal to so what you get, you operated this gradient operator on a scalar function, and what do you get in output?
Vector quantity.
A vector quantity, right? You may ask, what is the use of this thing? What does this vector signify? क्या role है इस vector का, क्या importance is vector का? There is a role we will discuss later. As of now, I am just giving you a mathematical definition of gradient. Okay. So if someone give you a vector and ask you to find a gradient, it means the question is incorrect. Gradient always works for this scalar functions, and in the output you will get a vector function. And you can see the operator itself is a vector quantity, right? So vector into scalar is like a vector. What about divergence? So divergence is defined for a vector quantity, any vector function. And how do we write it? This is a vector. This is also a vector now. So what is function f? In Cartesian system, it can be written something like this. Some function here of x, y, z, I cap. Some function again of x, y, z, j cap. Now, what is the meaning of multiplication of two operators? How do we multiply two vector quantities?
Sir, multiplication of their individual components.
That is called dot product, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So divergence is actually defined in the same style. There has to be a dot. And the output that you will get now is a scalar quantity. What is the meaning of this quantity? I cap. And how do we speak it? Del dot f. Dot f1 I cap f2 j cap plus f3 k cap. This dot is there, is equal to again you can put I cap anywhere, either on the left or on the right, because it's a constant vector, it does not make any difference. Here also in the operator part you can put I cap wherever you want, since it is a constant vector. What is the dot product now? So this del y del x will operate on all three parts. This del over del y is also will operate on all three. And you know, I dot I is 1, I dot j is 0, I dot k is also 0. We have discussed it in the first class. So what we get? Del f1 by del x much like the dot product, right? Now the third part. What is the other type of product between two vectors?
Cross.
and therefore curl is defined in this way: del cross f. And all these quantity have some physical relevance. That is why they got some name, and this name is also intuitive. These are not these are not arbitrary names. So f1 is a function of x, y, z, I cap, and you know how to take cross product. Either use the formula that I cross j is equal to k, k cross j is equal to I, j cross k is equal to no ijk jki, right?
You can have a determinant, sir.
Or we can also do the determinant, right? So we will follow the determinant formula because this takes some time, although both have the same meaning. So I, j, k, del y del x, f1, f2, f3. So what we get now? I cap here, and how much we have now? Del f3 upon del y minus del f2 upon del z, right? For j, what we get? Del f1 upon del z minus sorry k cap del f2 by sorry k cap means yes del f2 upon del x minus is recording running or yes. This is the curve and this is a vector quantity, right? But here we have defined all these things in Cartesian coordinates. What about their answer in polar coordinates? So in Cartesian coordinate, what we have defined, this is the del operator, right? What is the form of this operator? Because we have to know the form of this operator first. Then only we can do the other parts. What is the form of this operator in polar coordinates? This. So since it is a 2D, r cap del y del r plus theta cap 1 by r del y del theta. This is del operator. Now let us say I have a function. Let us talk about gradient first. So I need a function, a scalar function of r and theta, and I will apply this gradient operator over this. What will I get? R cap del f over del r plus theta cap 1 by r del f over del theta, right? It is quite easy, no hard work here. Now divergence. So for divergence, obviously divergence work for some vector function. So let us say this is the vector function. Vector f is given by this f1, which is a function of r and theta, r cap. Another function f2, a function of r and theta, theta cap. Let us write r cap dot f1 r cap plus f2 theta cap. Can anyone tell me the answer?
Del f1 by del r plus 1 by r del f2 by del theta.
Is this?
Yes.
This is not.
Yes, sir. No, sir, no.
So let us write everything. Do not apply any shortcut, and you will see where is the mistake. And now again, let me emphasize. Here you cannot put this r cap on this side. Do you know why? R cap is a variable function now. R cap is not a constant. R cap is a variable. So this cannot move on this side. If you are moving on this side, it means you are going to take derivative of r cap also. Similarly, this theta cap or this 1 by r cannot go on this side. It means you are going to take derivative of theta cap and 1 by r. Theta cap is a variable, 1 by r is a variable. Okay. So in the Cartesian case, you don't have to worry about it because it is a constant. Even if you take it on the right hand side, constant remains constant. Its derivative does not make any difference. But here, you cannot do it. What about here on this side? So just a product, right? This is a scalar quantity, this is a vector quantity. You can put it whatever way you want. Both have same meaning. R1 times f cap or f1 times r cap. They have the same meaning. Similarly this. So it does not make any difference here. Now let us start applying operator on this. So let's apply first operator on this whole part. What we get? R cap del by del r operated on.
f1 r cap.
So let me write operator here, dot product f1 r cap plus f2 theta cap. Okay. Plus now second part, this one on this whole thing again, theta cap 1 by r del by del theta operated on again the same f1 r cap plus f2 theta cap. We can further expand it. R cap del by del r operated on f1 r cap plus r cap del y del r operated on f2 theta cap. Similarly here, operated on let us solve. How many terms are there? 4 terms, right? Let me give some name to them so that I don't have to write each time every time. Let me call it term 1. This is term 2. This is term 3. This is term 4. Okay. So I am going to discuss first term 1 only. R cap is on this side. Dot. Now I am going to operate. This is in multiplication, right? I am going to operate this part on this function. So what do I write? Del f1 upon del r and r cap as it is, plus nothing on f1 now, del r cap over del r. Bracket close. Now dot product of r cap with these two terms. So this is some scalar quantity. R cap dot vector r cap. What do we get? 1. So what we get here? Del f1 upon del r. Now what is del r cap by del r?
0.
Sir, 0.
0.
This is 0 or vector 0, whatever you want to write. R
0
cap
bar.
dot 0 cap. It is 0, right? So this is term 1. And as expected, since it is a dot product, outcome has to be scalar. What about term 2? R cap del y del r. Is operated on f2 theta cap, right? So dot, this is operator operated on f2 and theta cap is equal to, so this operator will operate on this dot product del f2 by del r dot theta cap. No, there is no dot here. Simply theta cap plus f2 as it is del theta cap over del r. Now r cap dot theta cap is
0.
so first term is 0. Now we have to solve del theta cap by del r. What is this?
0.
So this is again 0. So there is no contribution here, right? So second term does not contribute anything. What about term 3? Term 3 is this. It's a somewhat big term. Okay, let's see. Theta cap 1 by r del y del theta. Dot product with f1 r cap, right? Is equal to, so theta cap 1 by r as it is dot product del f1 by del theta r cap here plus f1 as it is del r cap by del theta. So what do you get? First term is this is some quantity theta cap dot r cap.
0.
What is this quantity del r cap by del theta?
Theta cap.
This is theta cap and theta cap dot
Theta cap.
1.
1.
So what we get from here? F1 by r, right? Last term T4. F2 theta cap. I think this is yes. No. Yes. Theta cap. So theta cap 1 by r dot del f2 by del theta cap as it is plus f2 del theta cap by del theta. First term is second term is
minus r cap.
and theta cap dot r cap is
0.
0.
so del dot f. Let us calculate all the terms. There was some results from T1, right? Del f1 by del r. Second term is 0 and f1 by r. Okay. Del f1 by del r plus f1 by r. Anything else? T3 gives anything? T4 gives this. 1 by r del f2 by del theta. So this is the divergence. Does not look very nice, but we can make it a little bit good looking. Del by del r rf1. What we get? Do we get 1 by r here? See, do you get this quantity? R as it is cancels del f1 by del r. Derivative of r becomes 1. Okay. Is it okay? So I have combined these two terms into one, right? So this is the formula for divergence. Or in other words, if you put, if you use this transformation, x is equal to r cos theta, y is equal to r sin theta. Sorry guys. In this formula, what you will get? This formula. यदि आप पिछले फॉर्मूले में पोलर कोऑर्डिनेट्स रखेंगे, प्रॉपर डेरिवेटिव्स निकालेंगे, you will eventually get this answer. What about curl now? So curl is obviously, you cannot simply take the determinant. You will get a cross here. First term becomes 0, second term is obviously 0. So from T1 you will get 0. There is a cross here. there is a crosshair. There is a crosshair. So r cap cross theta cap. What is r cap cross theta cap? Any answer?
Sir, it is perpendicular to the plane and I think phi cap.
So obviously curl or any cross product is always defined in 3D coordinates. Cross product cannot be defined in 2D in any case. So if you have curl, obviously you will have a 3D system. Means either you have Cartesian x, y, z, or you have spherical. Spherical means r, theta,
Theta phi.
or cylindrical.
R
Z. Here r cross theta is equal to phi. Is it r cross theta? Yes. Here r cap cross theta cap is equal to phi. But here r cap cross theta cap becomes z, right? So let us give some time to this system now. Spherical. So do you know how do we define a spherical system? So spherical coordinates are defined.
Plus y square plus z square.
Okay, so let me give a short introduction to spherical. Those who are new can understand. So as you can see from the name, these are defined over a sphere. So let me first draw some lines so that I can guide you. Let me see, how do I plot here? Or let us do by hand only. So this red surface, you can think of it like the 1/8 part of a sphere. या आप ऐसा मान सकते हैं कि एक स्पेरिकल बॉल का 8वां हिस्सा हमने कैप्चर किया है. Okay. So you can consider this as a x-axis, this as a y-axis, this as a z-axis. So a ball is there with its center coinciding with the origin. एक बॉल है जो सेंटर इसका ओरिजिन से कोइंसाइड करता है, एंड वी आर कंसीडरिंग ओनली the 1/8 part where all the coordinates are positive. Let us have some point on this sphere. Let us say this is a point. This is on the sphere. and I draw a line from the origin towards this point, and let me just extend it outward. What is the vector r? So this is the radial direction, right? And unit vector in this direction is
Okay.
r cap. Now this line will make some angle. Let me revise the nomenclature. Let me call it z axis. Let me call it y axis. Now this, and this point is on the sphere. This P actually lie on the sphere. Now this line is making some angle with the z axis. And this angle made from the z axis, we call it theta. Now can you please tell me what is vector theta? So vector theta means go in a direction that only theta should change and other coordinate must not change. So theta should change means you have to go on the surface of the sphere. When theta is 0, where do we reach? यदि हम theta को 0 कर दें, this point will be reach at this point z. Let me draw line for theta. Let me use the color accordingly. If theta becomes 0, this point P will coincide with this z, right? As you increase theta, this point P go down, go down, go down, and will go somewhere here. What is vector theta? Theta is this. So it is tangential to the surface of the sphere. Theta. Now if we take theta is equal to pi by 2, it will reach at the horizontal part of this sphere, means here. This angle is called phi. This is phi. Okay. Go in a direction that theta must not change, r cap must not change. Theta should not change, r should not change, only phi cap should change. Which direction should I go? From this point P. ना ही आपका थीटा बदले, ना ही आपका r बदले, but phi can change.
Sir, go away from the center radially.
So again, go on the surface. जैसे आप थीटा के लिए सरफेस पे ही चले थे, सरफेस पे ही चलना है, but in a horizontal plane, means on this. And if I complete this line, then it's a horizontal circle on this full sphere. This direction is called phi. So you can see r cap is perpendicular to surface of sphere. Theta cap is parallel to surface of sphere. in a vertical plane. Theta cap is tangential to the surface, but it is like in this vertical plane, right? Phi cap is also tangential. It is also parallel to surface of a sphere, but it is in a horizontal plane at the same point. It means what? R cap dot theta cap is, it is perpendicular to surface, it is parallel to surface. R cap dot phi cap is, this is perpendicular, this is parallel. Theta cap dot phi cap is, both are parallel to surface, but this is in a vertical plane, this is in a horizontal plane. Again 0. And you can also verify R cap cross theta cap is phi cap. Let me re-verify. No.
Why Z should be downward direction? Z should be downward direction.
Let me first write the answers. R cap cross theta cap is phi cap. Theta cap cross phi cap is obviously then R cap, and phi cap cross R theta phi R, phi R, theta cap. Okay. So these are also well. Yes.
Theta cap, yes.
Sorry, I can't hear you clearly. Your voice is breaking. Please write in chat. Write your query in chat. Hello.
Sir, I got it. I got it, sir.
All right. Okay. So this is the coordinate. This is the nomenclature of R theta phi system. Most of you must have heard about this in calculus 2. Now coming to the main part. What about these relations? I mean all the 9 components now. So one way is, as we have done previously, let us say I want to calculate del R cap by del theta. Find the change in R cap when you go along theta. You can do, but now it is not that easy because it's a 3D diagram and you are making it on a 2D paper. So you will have to imagine a lot. So it is not impossible, but it is difficult here. Second method is, so first method is geometrically draw all the vectors and find their difference. Second is mathematically. Mathematically means, as we have done here, something like this here. We defined connection between R theta and Ij, and from there we got the same relations very easily. So can we do something here? I mean, can we find a connection between R cap, theta cap, phi cap, and I cap, j cap, k cap? Can we go from this to this? Or let me again draw the same structure. On this side we have xyz and ijk.
Yes.
And on this side we have r, theta, phi, and r cap, theta cap, phi cap. These connections are also known to us, right? These are something like z is equal to r cos theta, x is equal to sin theta, cos phi, y is equal to r sin theta, sin phi. You can always find these connections. I want to know connection between these two. And let me tell you, it look easy. It is also not easy now. Our second approach is, if we can find these connections, then we can find this connection also. If we can find A1, A2 transformation, we can find this B transformation as well. So I will spend some time on how to find these connections. I mean, although we know how do we define ijk और r theta phi, verbally हम जानते हैं कि r cap का मतलब क्या है, कैसे बनता है, but mathematically कैसे बनाएंगे इसको? So now let me go back to the one of the component. Which one? This will help you, and this will also give you some definition of this thing. Gradient. Gradient का मतलब क्या होता है? So let me give you some physical interpretation of gradient, and that will help you to find these connections. But I don't have much time anyway. Let us say I have some scalar function f, and let me have the function of two variable only, so that we can discuss it quite easily. Let me say this is this x5. What is the meaning of this function? So let me first draw this function. What I'm going to draw? I'm going to draw this function fxy is equal to constant. Let us say constant is c. Okay. This is x-axis. This is y-axis. Okay. So xy is equal to, let us say 1. What kind of function is this? It is something like this. And you can also verify it quite easily. If you increase x, y will decrease. If you decrease x, y will increase. So as x is increasing, y is decreasing. At all the points, in सभी points पर x into y is 1 all the time. Now xy is equal to 2. What is this function? ये कहाँ पर होगा? It is next to it. Something like this. Xy is equal to 3. Like this. Okay. Since time is up, we will continue from here in the next class. Let me. All right. So if you have any doubt, you will please ask in the next class. I'm going to end this meeting now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.